Anime recap tier. Today I'm going to explain a comedy fantasy anime called Punchline. Spoilers ahead, watch out, and take care. Yuta Iridatsu is one of the passengers when a bus hijacking happens in the middle of the day. A woman wearing a cape and riding a motorcycle chased after the bus faster than the police forces. Amidst the chaos, one of the passengers, a woman named Chichiburabura, is secretly recording inside the bus. Another mysterious person is live streaming the events. The woman biker abandons her orange motorbike to jump into the bus. She goes by the code name Strange Juice. The steering wheel is left unoperated as Strange Juice is single-handedly fighting the hijackers. Yuta tries to get to the steering wheel but falls unconscious before he can go there, so the heroine commands Chichibu to take the wheel and stop the bus. However, the brakes aren't working. Strange Juice communicates to a woman with hacking skills to help her stop the bus. The bus then runs to the side of the bridge and almost falls into the waters before it stops. Luckily, all the passengers are safe. But just as Strange Juice thought that she had knocked down all the hijackers, the mastermind suddenly reveals himself behind her and points a gun at her back. Chichibu tries to come to her defense, but is hurt by the new guy. The mastermind is about to fire the weapon at Strange Juice when Yuta gains consciousness. He accidentally sees Chichibu's underwear and suddenly bursts with strength. Went Super Saiyan at the sight of undies, huh? He then pushes the mastermind out of the bus and falls into the waters. While Yuta is drowning, two girls suddenly appear and pull him out. By the time he wakes up, Strange Juice is by his side. The wind blows the girl's skirt, exposing her underwear, causing him to collapse. Then suddenly, a ray of yellow light from the sky bolts down to him until his spirit comes out of his body. That night, he wakes up realizing that he's already back in the Kodai house apartment, where he's staying. He's more surprised to see the talking cat spirit, Chiranosuke. It turns out that Yuta has become a wandering spirit too. Chiranosuke shows him a real-time video of his room where his body is moving around like normal. As a spirit, Yuta can roam around and pass through walls or anything but his room. This is due to the talismans placed around the room to ward off spirits. Chiranosuke tells Yuta it could be the person who possessed him, but Yuta doesn't know who it is. Chiranosuke says his body is possessed by someone else and points out that the incident following the bus hijacking was not an accident. The cat spirit informs him about Nandala Gandala, an ancient tome sacred to Indians which is said to have contained a secret ritual for reclaiming a possessed body, and it can be found in one of the rooms in the Kodai house apartment. When Chiranosuke vanishes, Yuta proceeds to enter each room. He goes first to Ito Hikiyotani's room, but he accidentally sees her exposed underwear, so he immediately goes out to avoid invading her privacy. Then he enters another room, but another girl is living there and exposes her underwear again. When he sees girls' private parts twice in succession, it causes him to get a nosebleed. This also makes a series of disasters happen until it completely wipes out the entire Earth. The 2012 conspiracy got nothing on this. The next thing he knows, he's floating above the Earth with Chiranosuke, looking down at the destroyed Earth that shocked him. Chiranosuke forgets to warn him that if he gets turned on and loses consciousness, an asteroid will strike the Earth, sending the entire mankind to destruction. Then Yuta goes through a sort of time travel and goes back to the time when he enters Ito's room. This time, he immediately avoids Ito and transfers to Mikatan Narugino's room. Mikatan is looking for a book, so he wonders if it's the Nandala Gandala. He looks under the table when Mikatan does the same. They're so close. Good thing she can't see him. He is reminded of the first time they met in the apartment. 9 months ago, Yuta was flustered when he bumped into Mikatan on her first day in the Kodai house apartment. Mikatan is a member of the idol group Seesmei, and the landlady, Meika Daihatsu, introduces them to each other. Back to the present, Yuta's recollection is disrupted by a knock on the door. When Mikatan opens it, she is greeted by Chichiburabura, who also lives in the house. To return the book Meika borrowed from her. But Mikatan is disappointed because it's not the book she's expecting. Yuta inspects the book to see if it's the Nandala Gandala, but then Chichibu says Meika might have mixed up the book somehow. After hearing that, Yuta goes to Meika's room and notices a book under the table. However, he gets frustrated when he can't pick it up or hold anything. Chiranosuke reappears, telling Yuta that it is because his ghost skill level is too low. The ghost skill level determines what power a spirit has, and with the current skill level Yuta has, he can only move the pencil. Yuta tests his power by moving the roll of thread on top of the table. Meika notices the thread rolling down the floor, and as she picks it up, she finds the book underneath. Meika opens the book to reveal it's a photo album of her childhood, much to Yuta's disappointment. Suddenly, there's a news on the TV about a hostage-taking incident happening in a movie theater caused by some group called Kyume. This is also the group responsible for the bus hijacking. Meika panics when she hears a song that happens to be an emergency siren. She dashes to Mikatan room only to find her singing karaoke. To have a private conversation with Mikatan, Meika lies to Chichibu that her pet escaped, so she will leave the room immediately. Whatever it is that they are going to talk about, Meika doesn't want Chichibu to know about it. When Chichibu is gone, Meika urges Mikatan to get moving because of an emergency. As Yuta observes them, Mikatan suddenly takes her clothes off, and before Yuta can turn away, he already sees her undies. He panics but convinces himself not to see it again. To his utter shock, he sees Mikatan change into strange juice. All along, the hero of justice who saved them from the hijackers was no other than the idol group member Mikatan. The genius hacker who has been helping her is Meika. In Mikatan's room, there's a secret passage that leads them to a secret hideout where different colors of motorbikes are parked. Before leaving, Meika shyly gives her a lucky charm she knitted herself. But Mikatan had dashed off with her motorbike. The following day, after Yuta discovered the secret, Meika barges into Chichibu's room to ask for the rent payment, only to find her already drunk. Chichibu is a fake exorcist, and she's upset because one of her clients found out her identity and insulted her. Chichibu rants about how all women in her family have spiritual powers except her, who doesn't even believe ghosts exist. To mess with her, Meika jokes that she can see a ghost and points in the direction where Yuta is. Said spirit almost has a heart attack, believing that she can see him when Ito, the tenant upstairs, suddenly screams. Worried, Meika immediately runs to her room, but Ito refuses to open the door, insisting she was just scratching her dry skin. While Meika is by the door, she hears another thud, increasing her worry. However, the landlady is forced to let it go. Meanwhile, Yuta thinks of time traveling to the bus scene, but the cat spirit says it won't be possible with his current ghost skill level. They then watch Yuta's body unboxing a package. Chiranosuke asserts whoever is possessing his body is also for sure a spirit. Left without a choice, Yuta resolves to focus on finding the Nandala Gandala. Later on, Yuta accompanies Chichibu, who is looking at her phone and distressing about her supposed date because the guy has a good impression of her occupation, and now she's hesitating to meet him. Worried about his friend, Yuta remembers when Chichibu was also drinking because she got rejected by a man. Chichibu and Yuta's sister are friends, and before his sister decided to go to the US, Chichibu used to vent her frustrations to her. Back to the present, Mikatan visits Chichibu to give her apple pie, but is shocked to see her lying on the floor. For a second, she thought something had happened to her. Chichibu gets up to greet her when the interview with Strange Juice is suddenly on TV. Mikatan is flustered that she turns it off right away. It confuses Chichibu, so Mikatan lies that she thought she was not watching it and then cleans up the empty bottles around the room to somehow change the topic. While picking up the garbage on the floor, Mikatan accidentally grabs Chichibu's pet turtle, causing her to panic and flip the table. Mikatan absent-mindedly throws the turtle, so Chichibu immediately catches it. As Mikatan runs away, Chichibu passes out on the floor. But to Yuta's horror, the turtle crawls beneath Chichibu's skirt. The spirit runs away before he can even cause destruction again. When Chichibu has sobered up, Meika comes back wearing a pigeon headdress to show her a weird dance in the hopes that it will cheer her up. But the contrary, it only pisses Chichibu off, causing them to argue. So, Meika leaves the headdress and then gets out of the place mad. But then, later on, Yuta watches Chichibu doing the same weird dance Meika just did. She then tries to summon a ghost by moving the vase when the cat spirit suddenly emerges. The cat spirit urges Yuta to answer her, saying the cinnamon particles scattered throughout the room have the odd effect of boosting ghost powers. And just when Chichibu gives up in frustration, Yuta manages to not just move but break the vase, surprising them both. Meanwhile, Mikatan forces herself into Ito's room by giving her apple pie. Ito is expecting Mikatan will leave right away after giving her the pie. Instead, the girl stays and asks her to eat the food together. Because Ito seems eager to have her leave, Mikatan teases if she has anything she doesn't want her to see. Ito is taken aback and strongly denies this. Mikatan is heading to the kitchen to get forks when she suddenly hears a scream. When she turns around, Ito says it was her. Ito never goes out of her room. Because of the sudden scream, the worried Mikatan urges her to get some sun, or she will turn weird emotionally and mentally. When Mikatan says that, Ito suddenly eats a raw salmon, scratches her back to the wall, and brushes her hair all at the same time. Oh dear, is she truly going bonkers? Mikatan is weirded out, so she calls Meika and Chichibu for help. The two girls are also confused about Ito's actions when a baby bear suddenly comes out behind Ito. It turns out that Ito's crazy actions are to distract them from noticing the bear making noise. Bears are rightfully not allowed in the house because, hello, bears? Ito wants to hide it from them. Meika insists on calling animal control to get it, but Ito begs her. Chichibu and Mikatan take pity on Ito and help on convincing Meika, saying it's unlikely that someone would just abandon a bear in the middle of the city, so they should investigate it first. Fortunately, Meika agrees, but only up until the end of the year. If they can't find anything, she will report it. Afterwards, Mikatan finds Meika sitting alone on the rooftop. Yuta is there too. The girls speculate the reason why Ito stopped going to school because, until now, they don't have a clue. Hearing that, Yuta recalls the time when he began to play online games with Ito. She suddenly keeps skipping classes and refuses to go out of her room. One day, Ito suddenly shares the school disowned her. In the days that followed, the video of the Kyumei group challenging the government to reveal the truth behind a supposed collision of an asteroid with the Earth on New Year's Eve spread. The group claims that the announcement of an international group about the chance of a direct impact being highly impossible is all lies. Yuta and Chidanosuke are watching the news about the video when the reporter says the group's leader has recently died. Hearing this, Yuta suspects the person who is currently in his body right now is the leader. Afterwards, Yuta is observing Ito in her room when Mikatan barges in carrying a Christmas tree. The girls plan to hold a Christmas Eve party in Ito's room, hoping it will encourage Ito to interact outside again. However, Ito suddenly shows Mikatan a video of Strange Juice fighting on the bus and asks her whether they know each other, which surprises Mikatan. Since she can't divulge her other identity, she lies that Strange Juice is her friend. She meets Ito in her room, but disguised as Strange Juice. Strange Juice pretends to use the bathroom without closing the door to convince her friend. She's taking so long, so Yuta checks her out, but she's flustered when she finds her changing. Yuta notices her wearing Meika's latest creation, a high-tech camouflage combat uniform called Toemaker. When Mikatan becomes invincible, she carefully exits the bathroom and then emerges behind Ito as Mikatan. After putting up an act that she's going to sleep, she comes out again from the bathroom as Strange Juice. Ito seems to be already convinced, but as she was about to ask for advice, they hear Chichibu scream. They all check what's happening and find Chichibu being taken hostage by a masked man. The man wants to take Ito's bear cub. Strange Juice fights him, but he's too strong for her. The bear also attempts to attack the man but ends up getting injured. Fortunately, Chichibu throws cinnamon in the air, allowing Yuta to strike at the man. However, the bear tries to hit the man again, so it is taken captive. After successfully taking the bear, the masked man is escaping from the house when another guy dressed as a hero stops him. The guy introduces himself as the Super Helper Man of Justice, Kenji Miyazawa. But let's be honest here, Kenji looks more like a weirdo than a hero. Kenji is about to strike at the intruder, but he's no match for the enemy. Ridiculously, Kenji asks the intruder to give him 20 seconds. Within those 20 seconds, Kenji flashes to the house, and when he comes back, he has already gained super strength. He beats the enemy and saves the bear. Strange Juice unknowingly appears without her mask, exposing her real identity. Her presence surprises Ito and Chichibu. Strange Juice is actually their friend? When Mikatan realizes her blunder, she cries and runs to Meika. After the incident, Yuta realizes that the mark on the intruder's hand resembles the Kyumei group logo. He also remembers that when Kenji was helping Meika, it was revealed that she was a robot, and Kenji knew about it. Meanwhile, Yuta sneaks into Ito's room and looks into her computer. Yuta is taken aback to see a video containing the victims' names for this year, which included Ito's name. Yuta wonders what it is about. On the other hand, while eavesdropping on Meika and Mikatan's conversation, Chichibu and Ito assume Meika is pregnant, so they barge into Meika's place only to find out her identity. Because of that, Chichibu passes out. Finding out that the two of your friends aren't what they say they are, who wouldn't pass out? Later on, Meika reveals that she inherited the house from a certain Professor Daihatsu Tenga, who died 8 years ago. He was a famous genius inventor who made a lot of innovations, including Meika. Yes, folks, Meika is actually a robot created by her grandfather. The plot thickens and it's just one wild ride after another.
Subscribe to watch more videos like this. Turn on notifications. And leave a like, it really helps the channel out. Thank you for watching.